Hi, I'm Phil from the Soundproofing store, and today we're solving a problem of noisy echo in an office. We're going to be using our ProSound Easy-Fix sound absorption panels, and we're going to be installing them here at the absolutely beautiful Broughton Hall Estate Business Park. So a couple of weeks ago, we received an inquiry from a company who are moving into a new office here at the building right behind me. Now, that office space is quite large, big high ceiling, lots of reflective surfaces. And so as soon as you walk in there and start talking, straight away, you notice your voice bouncing off all the surfaces and it's very, very echoey. Now, the issue is this company are using the space as a kind of call center. There's going to be 30, 40 people in there, all on telephones at the same time, talking to customers, and all of their voices at the same time are going to be projecting out, bouncing off the walls and the ceilings, and it's going to be an echoey mess. It's going to be very hard for them to concentrate on their conversation with their customer. And not only that, but when sound echoes, it amplifies. So the noise levels in there are going to be very, very high. So they got in touch and asked if there's anything they could do, which of course there is. And as it's nearby, we thought this was the perfect opportunity to come down, show you exactly how we would solve that problem, what products that we would use, and we can show you step by step of the installation as well. So we'll go inside and show you what we're going to do. So this is the office, and a fantastic office it is. This was the roof space of what was an old water mill. So it's full of character. We've got all these lovely wooden beams. But as I said earlier, the problem is it's big and it's very reflective. There's lots of hard surfaces. So all the sound just bounces off those surfaces and back into the room as echo. Now, the way we solve that is to cover more of the surface area of the room in soft, absorbent material. And we do that with what we call sound absorption panels or acoustic treatment panels. And this is a perfect example of one. This is one of our ProSound Easy-Fix panels. And the idea is there's a core on the inside, which is very soft and absorbent. And when we put these on the walls or on the ceiling, sound is projected out. And instead of hitting the hard wall or hard ceiling and bouncing back, it hits the panel, and the panel soaks that sound up and absorbs it and keeps it there so it doesn't bounce back into the room. And the more surface area of the room that's covered in these panels, the less echo there'll be. So when a client like this company gets in touch with us, the first thing we ask is to send us some photos of the space so we can see what available surface area there is for us to use. We can see what complications there are in the room. We can see the layout of the room. And we also ask them to send us dimensions. And from those dimensions, we can then build a kind of virtual model of the room. We can work out how much echo there is in that space and how much sound absorption you need in that space to get the echo down to a level where it's no longer a distraction. Now, we're not aiming to completely get rid of all the echo. If the room was completely echoless and completely dry, it'd actually sound a bit unnatural. We just want to get it down to a level where you can have a conversation, you can talk in here, and the echo isn't noticeable. It's not distracting anymore. Now, there's many ways that we can approach this. We've got several different products that can be suspended from the ceiling. They can be directly fixed to the ceiling. They can be fixed to the walls. But in this case, we decided there's not a huge amount of available space on the walls. And also, it's such a big room that if we only treat the walls, around the edge of the room is going to sound great. But in the middle of the room, you're still going to get a lot of sound bouncing off the ceiling and down. So in a space this big, it's a good idea to treat the ceiling because we then get a more even spread of treatment around the room. Now, as you can probably see, between these beams, we've got lots of kind of blank plasterboard space there that's available to use. So we've decided to use those spaces. The client didn't want panels that were going to be really obvious. They didn't want to change the aesthetic kind of look of the room. So they wanted a panel that will very subtly fit in with the current look of the room. So we've gone with white panels to go on those white spaces. So it'll be very subtle, very, people won't particularly notice it when they're looking around the room. And we decided to go with what we call our ProSound Easy-Fix panels, which can be fixed directly to the surface. So it's not suspended down, it's not going to block any of these lovely features in the room. They're going to be right up against the surface of the ceiling. Now, the ProSound Easy-Fix panels are very simple to install, which is why they're called Easy-Fix panels. Instead of being fixed with brackets or suspension cables or anything like that, instead our Easy-Fix panels have a self-adhesive backing on. So all you need to do is grab the corner, pull the backing paper away, and it reveals a very sticky surface on that side, which you can basically just put against the surface, push it on, smooth it down, and that'll stay there. So very, very quick, very, very easy. The panels are covered with an acoustically transparent fabric, which means the sound goes straight through the fabric and into the core so they can be absorbed. And we do a range of fabrics, a range of different colors to suit various different aesthetics in the building. So you can get it to match the color of the surface that you're putting on. It could be brand colors. It could be multiple colors just to make the room nice and bright. Whatever you want, you can get creative and really use the sound absorption panels as part of your interior design, as part of the aesthetics of the room. Because every space is different as well, all our panels are made bespoke to order, which means we can make them in all sorts of different sizes, different shapes, again, different colors to suit the spaces that you're going to install them in. So in this case, because we're fitting them into these rectangle areas between the beams, we've gone with 1.8 meter by 0.8 meter rectangles. So they'll just slot nicely into those available spaces that we've got. It'll be very subtle. And because these are all bespoke manufactured, we can actually turn them around really quickly because they're made right here in the UK to your order and will usually take around 5 working days from you placing the order to being manufactured to delivered on site. Around 5 working days. Now, before we start the installation, we're going to do a quick sound test so we can show you the before and after results of the Echo. Now, right now, you probably can't actually hear how echoey it is in this room because you're currently hearing my voice being recorded by this little microphone that I'm wearing. And this only picks up sound that's very close to it. So you're getting a lot of my voice, but you're not really hearing the sound of the room. So what we're going to do now is switch the audio to another microphone that we've got, which is recording the sound for the whole room. And you can probably now tell a big difference. You're hearing a lot more of what I can hear being stood in this room. And what we're going to do is I'm going to clap my hands so we can hear how long it takes for the sound of that clap to bounce around the room and then disappear. Okay? And then after the installation, we're going to do this clap test again and compare before and after. Okay, so we're up on the scaffolding and we're going to install one of the panels up on the ceiling. I'm just going to explain what we're going to do. Now, as I explained earlier, we've got the self-adhesive backing, and in most cases, just peeling off that backing and sticking it straight to the surface is all that you need. It is very, very sticky and it holds very, very well. Now, in some situations like this, where we're putting it on a ceiling, and gravity is going to be pulling down on that panel, if in the case where the panels do start to slightly peel away, it's going to be very difficult to come back here, build a scaffolding tower, get up between these awkward beams to stick it back on again. So what we're going to do for a bit of extra hold, just to be belt and braces, we're going to peel the backing paper back and then we're going to add an adhesive as well, a very high grab adhesive. So the sticky back is going to hold it kind of instantly, but that adhesive is going to make sure that it stays up long term over a long period of time. So there's absolutely no chance that it's going to start to peel away or it's going to need any kind of repair in the future. So we're going to peel this backing away. And we're just going to run a few lines of this high grab adhesive onto there with an applicator gun. So we've marked up and measured where within this space we need it to be. So now it's just a case of holding it up, offering it to the wall, and then pressing it again so it's flat against the surface. So the installation is complete. Now, altogether, it took us around 5 hours for the installation. Now, bear in mind, that was 42 panels covering around 60 meters square. We had to do a lot of stopping and starting for the filming, and also, as you probably saw on the footage, because of these beams, we had to keep breaking down the scaffolding to move it to the next area, build it back up again. So we had a lot of complications that slowed us down a bit, but about 5 hours altogether. The total cost for the 42 panels, again, 60 meters square coverage for the panels themselves, the adhesive, the VAT, delivery. So all in, that was around £7,000. Now, personally, I think it looks pretty cool as well. It's nice and subtle, as we said, as the client wanted. They're not bright colors, they're not crazy shapes. We did go with this option to try and blend in with the ceiling. When you first walk into the room, your focus is certainly on the character of the building, not on the sound absorption panels. But when you really start to look, you do see them. And it gives the ceiling a little bit more texture, a bit more kind of 3D. And to my ears, in the room, it's made such a difference. You can really tell that that echo has pretty much gone. Not completely gone, but pretty much. I can certainly say that now if you've got 50 people in here all on the phones, it's going to be much cleaner, much more focused, much easier to concentrate, and certainly the volume level will have been taken down a lot. But to prove it to you at home, we're going to do another clap test. So we're going to switch the audio from my microphone to the room microphone, and I'm going to do another clap and see how long it takes for that clap to disappear now. Okay. Okay, so hopefully you can really hear the difference at home, but certainly here in the room, it's night and day difference. It really does sound fantastic now. So if you have a similar problem, if you're struggling with echo and reverberation and that kind of noise in a space, whether it's an office, a village hall, a school classroom, or anything else, or even if it's a noise problem, you're suffering with noisy neighbors or anything else, anything sound or acoustics related, then please get in touch. We've got a team of highly trained technical advisors who can talk you through, point you to the right solution. We're always here to help.